advice in 3 words for someone starting in the trade.
Don't be scared.
Just give it a go.
Yeah, get after it.
Oh, there's some good ones. And that was all quite quick as well. Awesome. All right. G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of the Build Insite Podcast. My name is Luke and I'll be your host today. We are live in the Callery Building warehouse today in Adelaide. Dean unfortunately couldn't make it today, but we've got a little bit of a different episode today. We've got a toolbox style meeting with a few members of my Callery Building team. Starting from my side of work across, I've got Andrew next to me here. Carpenter moved over from the UK. Apologies if you don't understand his accent. We'll do our best to get through. We've got Nathan next to him. He is one of our site supervisors. All the way over the end, we've got Oscar, our mature age apprentice. Guys, today's chat, we're going to be about just real stories about your experiences in the industry, what it's like to work for a builder. Predominantly, we get a lot of builders on this podcast that are business owners and we get their experience. We thought something different today would be nice to get some stories and some experiences from you guys actually working under a builder. Just a little bit about site culture, some laughs on site, and then encouraging others that are thinking about getting into the industry on where they should start and just give them a bit of advice. So firstly, maybe just give us a slight intro on yourselves and how you guys ventured into the industry. Start either end. Oscar, Andrew, Nathan, whoever wants to go first.
How we got into the industry.
Yeah, who are you?
Oh, sorry. Firstly, I'm Oscar. So I am a mature age apprentice. I've been on for coming up to a year now. It'll be a year in a couple of weeks. So the way I got into the industry was originally through doing university. I'd studied construction management and that piqued my interest into going into trades because basically didn't want to really go into an office job, and that's what it probably sounded like he was going into, coming out of uni and not having any other sort of trade experience. So yeah, that's basically what piqued my interest into getting an actual trade qualification.
Anything that led into that, Oscar, you reckon, about maybe being as young as you are, having that qualification and potentially on site, talking to older trades and stuff, and they maybe a bit of back chat to you about you don't necessarily have the experience on site? Anything maybe like that to lead into it? Yeah,
absolutely. There was definitely always the thought of like not being and not like having the confidence that like I would have if I went straight into it through uni. Like you definitely don't sometimes, obviously through doing uni, learn every single aspect of what you're actually doing. So I feel like, there's a lot of things you can miss through doing it, like through studying basically, rather than like compared to having on-site experience, you're actually doing the things every day and there's a lot more of a deeper understanding. This is obviously based now after I've done it, but I guess I also had the additive of having like my old man, he's a carpenter, so he sort of gave me advice from a person who was into industry as well.
Yep.
As like, you don't want to be the person who's going out trying to tell people what to do when you don't, basically have that understanding or haven't done it before yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be exciting to watch you over the next few years. That experience in construction management early, I think the way that you're going to progress through your trade and combining that on-site experience, watch this space, I reckon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Next, Nate.
Nathan, site supervisor. How I got into the trade was probably starting when I was a bit younger. We sort of did a house renovation on our family home and sort of just every day I'd just be watching, like it was just a general builder, just watching them every day. Used to probably pull a few sick days just to stay home, just to watch them. That was sort of my interest into getting into building, like loved being outside, just being hands-on. And then, once sort of got to year 11, finished school and went to Master Builders through my apprenticeship. So, that's how I...
Just backtrack a little bit though, because you, after your apprenticeship, you worked for a few people outside of that and then because you've got a contractor's license as well.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Had a crack on your own. It's really, really tough for anyone starting out.
Yeah. So I obviously did my apprenticeship through I was with my same boss probably for 10 years. General builder, so we did a lot of just sort of start to finish, got a lot of experience, taught me a lot of things. After that, he sort of retired, and then I went off to try and venture to got my contractor's license, subbied with a good mate for a year, and then sort of tried to venture off and do my own thing for a bit. But the one thing that I sort of experienced from trying to venture off and do my own thing was just time. Like I felt like I never had time. It was just these 7-day weeks. I have 2 young daughters at home, so it's just like,
Trying to find that balance between work and actually enjoying life.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And you obviously do all that. You do all that sort of stuff for your family, but at the end of the day, what's the point if you're at work 24/7?
Well, I think if you work for yourself and it's you, only you, you're relying on yourself, and then you end up being a slave to work, because if you don't answer an email, if you don't finish the job, you don't get paid. If you don't do your invoicing, you're just constantly chasing the money, the jobs, and it's just a cycle that you get stuck in, and you sometimes got to keep going because you're waiting to get paid, or you need to get paid, or you've got to pay other people, and you're just in that hamster wheel of round and round and round, and you can't get out, because as soon as you get out, everything stops because it's you.
Yep. That's it. You just got to keep the wheels turning. That's all.
So we progressed. Nath actually did a bit of subby work for us on and off for about a 12-month period. When we needed an extra pair of hands, it'd be a couple of days or it might be a week or whatever. And every time Nath came out, we could tell how much he was enjoying it. And eventually, hook, line and sinker, we got him on board.
For over 130 years, Bowen's has been the builder's choice, providing a service that provides timber, hardware and innovative building products.
And now we're helping you further with this wonderful partnership.
We're proud to announce Bowen's as our new premier sponsor, bringing you more of the insights that you love. Build Insight, together with Bowen's.
Real people,
real insights.
Andrew?
I'm Andrew. I got into carpentry through a friend who's older than me, had his own business. All round, he was a carpenter, but he basically would work by himself or with one other person. And he just kind of suggested to me, I reckon this could be a good fit for you, from knowing me. And I had a job. I was actually working in retail. It was a job, it paid the bills, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do. But just from a young age, I'd kind of done a lot of like physical jobs, never really been very good at school or academic stuff. So it was a case of, well, I can work, I can turn up, I can work hard, which is probably half of it. And so just kind of finding a skill.
And a good attitude.
And having a good attitude. That was, can you translate that for me? And just having a good attitude, and then finding something that you're good at and that you can get satisfaction from. That's still now, after 20 plus years, it's still the enjoyable thing of you can physically see what you do, even if it's demolition, even if it's building something new. And that's something that's real difficult if you transition to, say, Luke's job or role, as in management and overseeing jobs, you then lose the satisfaction of
actually completing something.
Yeah.
Hang on. You don't lose it completely.
No, but
it's a different process. It is a slightly different feeling. Yeah, you're right. I do feel like that some days, actually. It's kind of like I've worked so hard on getting this project to site, but I'm not there building it anymore, and I go and check in a little bit. I do feel like I missed out a bit.
But it's different putting your tool belt on than walking in without a tool belt, I found. And it's like, I did always kind of feel when I did have people working for me, it's like, hey, I want to be doing that. Or I want to be the one that's cutting that roof in or making things happen. So, yeah.
It's just your job role changes in the end, doesn't it? Like you become more of just a business owner than a carpenter on site.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I could talk for a long time about how I've
That's
different.
Fine. We'll get into that. There's a lot more topics we're going to cover. So we've actually got, I guess, the way that our team has progressed, we've got a good variety in age through our team as well, all the way down, like early 20s, mid 40s, and anything in between. So it's a good variety and sort of creates a bit of a different culture, which is nice for the young guys to learn off of the older guys, and vice versa. There's definitely some new techniques and some younger personalities that are keeping maybe the senior guys on their toes a little bit more. But probably just going back to your story again, Andrew. Obviously, everyone can pick up a little bit. You've got a UK accent or an English accent. Your story, I guess, transitioning from building in the UK to Australia, I know sort of the connection when we first got in touch. I know Warren, one of our other senior carpenters, was explaining a few things to you outside of work about what we were doing with some of the more high-performance building wraps and sealing things up. And I think from the conversation, you were kind of like, well, that's what I've always done in the UK. So sort of anyone that's sort of followed the podcast a little bit knows that sort of comes up in conversation about how far behind Australia is to the rest of the world as far as building quality. So I guess the transition for the mission that we're on with the quality and the style of building probably wasn't too far different to what you're used to.
No, I mean, as the weather in the UK is pretty poor, you kind of always thinking about how's water going to get in as you're building stuff. You're constantly fighting the elements, trying to keep the rain out, or because the houses are attached or in a row, you're not only working on the house that you're working on, you're dealing with a neighbour to the left and a neighbour to the right, and possibly a neighbour behind. So you're constantly trying to, you wake up in the middle of the night when it's raining thinking, I hope I tied that down good enough, or the tops are holding, or if we take something apart, we've got to make sure we can at least put it waterproof by the night. So, taping around windows, sealing things, you're constantly, that's something that we've always done. Obviously the style here is slightly different, and I must admit, it was a little bit shocking to kind of see, where's the wrap on this house? We've recently my wife and I bought a old house built in the 80s. And as I'm taking it apart and working on it, I'm thinking, there's not much here, or, there's daylight, or there's outside, it's interesting to see. But then I've spoken to older Aussie guys and they're like, it's because energy was so cheap. So in the summer, you just keep your aircon on full blast and your heat on full blast. And then when you turn it off, within 5-10 minutes, the house is either too hot or too cold, but that isn't the case now with the prices of everything. So
prices of gas and electricity and all that at the moment. I think a lot of project builders out there, they build these homes within 12 months or whatever, but they're just actually so bad performing homes.
Yeah.
Our home is a 2018 built home, but we've got condensation. You turn the heater off, in 5 minutes it goes cold. It's just it's pretty much a new home, but it's such a bad performing home.
Energy consuming monster.
Dino, so I rocked up to site last week, got scratched bench tops, paint all over the windows.
Let me guess, Lukey. No good?
No good. And now we're spending big bucks trying to fix it.
Mate, Goop Guys roll on a thick, peelable, protective coating that saves your surfaces.
And your budget.
And your sanity, Lukey.
Seriously, check them out. goopguys.com.au. Protect your job from the start.
So for a bit of context for listeners, let's go over your 3 job roles are a little bit different. Let's just give a bit of context on what a day-to-day looks like for you guys.
Nathan?
We get up, we have a coffee, then we get to work.
Usually 5:30 alarm, get up, coffee, on the way to work, usually stop in the timber mode.
Hardware store?
Hardware store. Pick up supplies just for the day, make sure we're organised. Get to site, usually about 10 to 7. Tools out, have a bit of a toolbox with the boys on site to see what's going on. Bit of a walkthrough. Pretty much get the tools out and start the daily task.
Because Nate's role's a little bit, probably not unique, because there is probably a few other people that have a similar role. So supervisor, but still on the tools a bit as well.
Yeah.
Andrew?
Yeah, so I get up as well.
It's good.
I'm quite routined. I'm a creature of habit, so I get everything ready the night before. Quick couple of cups of tea, get going. I leave a little bit earlier because I'm a little bit further from the job, so I want to miss the traffic. Normally get to site 1:45, 22, sit there and just have a bit of a moment before we start work, get things opened up. And my role is just kind of I follow whatever the supervisor tells me to do. So, on the tools, get the tools out, get set up, and then just get stuck into whatever needs to happen. I prefer the mornings. The mornings are my thing, so I'm always up and about and alert in the mornings. So that's my peak time to get the work done. So pre-lunch is when I would say I'm at my best.
Hit 2 o'clock.
Well, all downhill from there, is it?
Oh no, but
Don't tell the boss.
Well, let's be honest. We've got to be honest in the situation. I peak in the mornings, and after lunch, I'm not as alert as I am.
Paper down after lunch.
Except for when the site supervisor starts a task at 2:30 on a Friday.
Well, Nathan is notorious at starting tasks just before it's time to start packing up. So we get every tool out rather than 75% of the stuff. So, but let's be honest, as carpenters, you kind of get all your tools out every day, don't you? And you do one job and you need 15 different items. So it is a lot. It's great to have apprentices that will help tidy up. And when they're not there, you actually do miss out. So critical part of the job is packing up and tidying up and putting everything back to make sure that you're ready for the next day and you don't leave things on site. So organisation, be organised, have your van organised, your ute organised, and then you know if something's missing. So
speaking of apprentices, day-to-day for the apprentice at the end of the table?
Yeah, so obviously rocking up the site.
Well, as we found out this morning, not an early riser.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest.
Actually, hang on. Give a bit of context, because you guys listening to this or watching it, however you're doing it, you're not going to realise what time it was. We actually started, we all agreed that we were going to be here at 6 a.m.
I spat the dummy
Someone rolled up at about 10 past 6 and then continued to tell us that he's not a morning person and had a bit of a moment. But anyway, we're here now.
Well, I realised it was only half an hour earlier than I'd normally wake up, so probably shouldn't be having a cry. But no, yeah, I guess, I don't know. Sometimes in the morning, you probably catch me in worse mood than I am later in the day. Later in the day, I'm usually pretty, not too bad. But
I don't think that. Usually you get out of the car with a big smile.
You reckon?
Oh, anyway, back to the
I'm wrong.
day-to-day. What's your day-to-day tasks, mate?
Yeah. So rocking up the site, obviously, usually because obviously I'm not as experienced and haven't seen as many projects in full, I'd probably be asking one of the boys sort of what we're going to be doing for the day, and then I can then take the approach to start getting some tools out and getting some things set up. And obviously if they have to talk to other, or especially obviously I'm working with Nath, and sometimes he's got to do supervising in the morning or get other people set up. So I'll just try and, obviously do my own thing, get everything set up for us so we can start the day. And then obviously big thing being the apprentice is trying to keep some sort of cleanliness to the site and always trying to keep that in mind. Obviously these boys do a lot more of the main stuff and aren't thinking about that as much. So definitely something I'll try and keep things tidy and clean so that these guys makes it easier and better for everyone, obviously.
Better organised site.
I want to jump back a little bit there, because you brought up at the start there, you mentioned that you don't have the experience yet like the other guys. That, I think maybe anyone listening that has got a young apprentice or is thinking about getting one, it is such an important role for you as a lead or a boss or whoever you may be. Your apprentice is a sponge. And it's you've got such an important role as a leader in the industry or as a senior in the industry to train up these new guys coming through. That is the future of our building industry. So it's so important that you're giving clear communication, you're organised, you're not just leaving them there. They're not just a shit kicker that's pushing a broom around anymore. Like, there's so much more that goes into it. You're responsible for that person's future.
We are absolutely thrilled to announce that Circus Studio are coming on board as a major sponsor and supporter of Build Insite. Circus Studio is Australia's leading interior design centre. If you're an architect, building designer, interior designer, builder, or just looking to build your dream home, you need to make a time and come in and check out the space here in Port Melbourne. This space holds every element that you'll possibly need to design your dream home.
I think when you're talking about apprentices, you want to treat them, well, firstly, I've always tried to treat everyone on site as I want to be treated. So you don't talk to them like a dog, and you actually explain to them, or you have to sometimes realize that they don't actually know what you're talking about because they've not done it before. So you need to basically go back to basics. Just because you say, go put that string line on that nail, they don't know where the nail is. Well, you know where the nail is because you nailed it in.
String line.
Yeah. And just kind of explaining what you're doing, but also sometimes when you're running a job or you're the supervisor, you're trying to get stuff done because you're under pressure from time-wise, or you know you've got to get this done because there's weather coming in or there's another trade coming in. So you sometimes have to stop and be like, actually, I do need to show them what to do. The better your apprentice is, the better you are, the less you have to do. And you've got to spend that time investing in them because you want them to be better than you you can then be free to do the other things you need to do.
It's more a reflection of you and how you taught them, really. Like when me and Oscar first started with Callery, I think you were only 3 months into it.
Yeah,
so
pretty fresh.
Pretty fresh. But it's now nearly been a year, and just a reflection through him in a year, being on site with me every day, you can tell just the difference of just getting on with tasks, setting up stuff. It's it's a reflection of you, and it just makes life a lot easier on site. You don't have to. I don't have to be worried and turn around and say, "Well, what are you doing?" Because it's just initiative and actually it makes it a whole lot easier for sure.
Yep. Anyone watching this actually as well, if you can see us all sitting here shivering, it is absolutely freezing sitting out here. So don't mind us just jitting around. All these boys have got pants on. They got goosebumps all over their legs. So anyway, that was their decision. I'm going to leave this up to you guys. I've given you a microphone. Most favourite or least favourite part of your job? Be as brutal or as honest as you want.
Probably insulating. Any type of application of insulation is pretty bad, but fortunately at Callery, that is a job that we sub out, which is much appreciated. So thank you.
For the most part.
But yeah, any type of insulation is itchy and uncomfortable, and it's a rubbish job. So that's probably my least favourite.
Least favourite task.
Or favourite.
If you still want to think, I got mine.
Pick one. Most favourite or least favourite?
Least favourite is probably old existing buildings getting up in the ceiling space. There's the black dust up there. I think you cough for a couple of hours after you've been up there. So moving around in the old ceiling space is not too much fun.
Definitely. I'm just going to reflect back to a moment that me and you had on site. I think it was late last week. Oscar was pulling down the ceiling underneath the front porch, and I was standing in the hallway and watching Oscar pull his ceiling sheet down, and the cloud of dust that fell on top of him. I looked straight at Nathan and went, "Don't miss days like this. Oh, I'm glad I've got an office job, but I don't miss that."
On my head as well. There's so much crap in that ceiling. Yeah,
Oscar?
that's you probably stole mine there. That's like all heavy lifting and everything. Like I don't mind that at all. It's just when there's like a really dirty or crammed tight space. I'm not as fun. Not as much fun for me. Like getting up and if it's hot.
Anyone got anything positive? We've really focused on the negatives there. What you don't
positive.
like? What's the favourite part?
Positive, is just seeing the end result of a job. Like I like doing something different every day. So one of the reasons when I was a subby was I was mainly just doing second fix and eaves, and coming from like a background with a general builder, we did something like different every day. So one day you're doing flushings, like another day you're putting a roof on, or another day you're doing it's just a variety. So stepping back and seeing the end result, that's the positives. I love that.
I'm going to say the same. I did work as a general builder as well, so the variety of doing stuff different. You know that you're only going to be framing for a week, you're only going to be doing roofing for a week, you're only going to be plasterboarding for a week, or if it's a small job, you're going to be quick in and out, you're going to do 1, 2, 3 and you move on. You get that satisfaction of doing it. But I still get a little bit of buzz from framing because I started framing. So when I build a wall, it's me going back to being 21, and actually, I still think I'm 21 sometimes in my head, but my body says a little bit different. So, it's definitely the positives. Well, and I reckon there's probably some chemical stuff going on as well when you get the satisfaction of doing something and you complete a task, or you're also doing physical activity. So we all know that going to the gym's good for you. We do a physical job. You get that buzz from doing tasks or completing tasks, and sometimes overcoming difficult things. You've got to constantly think, how am I going to get this without hurting myself, hurting the guys around me, or you do get an accomplishment of, okay, we got home safely today, or we've done this job that was difficult and we've succeeded and it looks good.
Yep. Before we move on to the next one, while we're still on site tasks, I've rocked up to site some days and there's been a lot of laughter coming from scaffold or on a roof or from wherever. What's either funniest or strangest thing you've seen on site?
Well, I must admit that we laugh quite a lot as we go along our day.
Is that just each other? Is that the funniest thing?
I would say the funniest thing is probably myself.
Hang on. Oscar, what's yours?
No, my I guess like favorite part is the whole fact of like you are obviously doing your work and doing your job, but another whole side of it is how you get along with people around you, and like that is a big laughter, and like that's obviously a massive part of communication and building like obviously a relationship with someone, and like you're slowly understanding and getting those bigger laughs and bigger reactions out of people, I feel like is a big thing where sometimes you stop and you realize, oh shit, like this is actually like a mate, like this is actually like obviously a good friend, like this isn't just a co-worker.
For the most part, on average, you probably spend more time with your co-workers than you do with your family.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is that we kind of see each other sometimes at our best and sometimes at our worst when stuff at home happens and you come to work early in the morning and you're not really in the mood for it, but you see that person that knows everything about what's going on in your life. And also because we're working together, we're solving problems together, you get that camaraderie that we're in it together, we need to figure this out. How are we going to, like, you can't just be like, sorry, I can't do this. So no, I've got this problem.
Work it out.
Let's fix it. How are we going to do it? How can we do it together? And, it is good to kind of...
It's just the laughter all day. Your job is job at the end of the day, but you gotta have fun as well, don't you? You gotta have a laugh, and that's what makes it all worthwhile. Like when it's definitely the key to having a good day, isn't it?
Yeah.
100%.
But I think that one of the biggest things as well is I got told throughout, I don't know if it was through my apprenticeship but it's like when you get out the ute, you're setting the tune. So if you're leading or you're a site supervisor, if I get out the ute and I'm all grumpy, well, the boys are not going to have much fun throughout the day, are they? 100%. If I get out the ute and whatever's going on at home or whatever, you get out the ute and you're smiling and happy, well, you're going to have a good day with everyone, aren't you? So it's about setting the tune, really.
Yeah, but also it's consistency. You want the people around you to know what day you're going to have because you're always the same, or you try to always be the same, that, if this happens, oh no, watch out, we've got to watch out for him because he's going to lose his temper or throw something at you. I mean, we've probably all worked with people like
that, for sure,
might throw a hammer at you if you do something wrong. My first foreman was ex-military and you were scared of him because he was volatile. So, yeah.
All right, guys, that brings us to the end of part 1 of episode 38 on our toolbox-style chat in the Callery Building warehouse. If you want to find out more about Build Insight, head over to the website buildinsite.com.au. Over on the website, you can find links to previous podcast episodes as well as our YouTube channels and Instagram. Hope you enjoyed the episode and catch you next week for part 2.
We just need to say a massive thank you to our sponsors and supporters. Without them, Build Insight wouldn't be possible. So to Bowens, Circus Studio, Wonderbuild, Goop Guys, Callery Building and Backman Builders, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
Let's cue the disclaimer. I need to let you know that myself and the Build Insight team are in no way, shape or form qualified to give you personal or specific business advice. We strongly encourage you seek out the use of professionals for products or when you are making personal or business decisions. Everything discussed during the Build Insight podcast is our own and the guest opinion and personal experience and is of a general nature only. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.